Hi, I'm Aaliyah.
And I'm Hav. Welcome to Mom Files, Moments of Motherhood podcast, the place where the messy, hard, and honest parts of momming get to exist without shame.
If you're a mom, you'll find realistic routines, gentle validation, and maybe a few new things to try. Think of us as your village, a judgment-free corner of motherhood.
We're so glad you're here. Welcome back. I'm Hav.
And I'm Aaliyah.
All right. So this is where it actually gets real. Once you realize you're going to have to introduce your kid or kiddos to your new baby or to the idea of you having a new baby, I'll just get into it for me with Azzy. Let's do it. I mean, I feel this one I feel like is like she wanted it. I'm like, you asked for it. But no, it really is. It's such like a mental game. I feel like she was excited and then she gets nervous and there's regressions that you don't realize, or at least I didn't realize, especially with her wanting it so much. So I feel like it's been a 9-month progress, and I think it's just going to keep going. But I think, yeah, for me, it's been a little bit of a roller coaster with Azzy in such like a good way. But yeah, she was asking for it. She wanted it, to her like being like, but I want to be the baby, to being like, well, we can have two babies, to I want to help my brother, to like she's never not wanted her brother, but she's definitely had moments where she's been like kind of like, it's not fair. Like you can't do what you used to do with me because brother's taking up so much of your energy. So I think we've been prepping for it. We are prepping for it. I don't know what to expect. I really don't know.
I think that's actually a good thing to know. Is this is something, as we're talking about that, the tips we give, the experience Hav has, it's ever evolving. So right now what's working might not be working when he gets there and things like that. So we just want to know what currently we're, thinking about or Hav's doing, or tips that we've heard that might be helpful. So as we've always said, take what works for you, leave what doesn't. But yeah, I think it is good to note that like, even what Hav's doing now might not work once he gets here, just because feelings can change.
Yeah.
Experiences can change. Everything's always different once a whole ass new human enters the family.
But I guess that's something is like different stages, because a lot of the advice I see is for like toddlers that are like 1 to 2, She's a little bit older. She understands a little bit more. So just keep that in mind with the advice that I'm giving.
Maybe you could start with like maybe how you started the process, or like how you kind of involved her in the preparation.
I mean, it even started before we got pregnant because she was asking for a sibling so much. So just talking to her, which was kind of nice. I was able to like talk to her about like, okay, like this is what's going to change if mommy does get pregnant. If we do have another kid, like, are you ready for that? And obviously she's a toddler. She's going to say yes. So then maybe like not be ready. But like being able to like put that in her head that like there will be things that change. I think for us, like acting like nothing's going to change would never work. And they say like not to do big changes 3 months before, 3 months after, all that good stuff. But I think things are going to change that you just can't control. So yeah, so it started out with, before we got pregnant, talking to her about like mommy and daddy have to like make this baby. And when we make this baby, it's going to be a long process of like, this baby is in mommy's body and this baby doesn't just show up kind of thing. So preparing her to be patient was the first thing, I feel like, for us, which, is hard for a little kid who doesn't even know like that the week it has 7 days in it.
I mean, it's hard for a lot of adults.
Yeah, exactly. So we did, when we told her, we waited until like we were sure everything was good, because I felt like that would have just been like a heartbreak that I couldn't handle if something happened. So we waited until the first trimester was up. She was the first one we told. We made sure to wait to tell her until we wanted other people to find out, because toddlers. But she was the first one we told. We showed her pictures of baby. I made her like a little calendar to like, if she needed to cross off the days to help her just like kind of compute how long it's going to take. Got her like a little book. and assure, just to kind of make it about her. Like, you know, I feel like a lot of this is like, I hate it when people are like, this is about brother. I'm like, this is not. There will be a lot of stuff that is about brother when he comes. This is not about brother. This is about you getting a brother, or well, at that time, just getting a sibling and being able to be a big sister. So we kind of made it about her. We got her a big sister in training shirt and a calendar and a book and all that stuff, and kind of started talking to her about, we don't know what baby's going to be because she really wanted a sister. And how we can't control that, and any baby is a good baby, and just, you know, stuff like that. So there's definitely, I feel like there's just been, it's like just every stage is a little different. So we did the gender announcement, and I think like 2 weeks leading up to that was a lot of like, okay, like this is what the colors mean, you know? Like, I mean, she already associates girl with pink and boy with blue. We live in a conservative state. Like, apparently that's ingrained to them as soon as they come out of the womb. But we did like a cake thing, so explaining that to her. And then she was like, well, what if it's purple? And this is where it gets cute, but also like, I said, well, if it's purple, I guess that means that we're having a boy and a girl. We're having twins, but mommy's not having twins. Like, trying to explain that to her. And then she thought that the cooked cake, when we did the reveal, was purple icing. So she thought she was getting a brother and a sister. So she was really excited about the brother, but like heartbroken that the sister part was just her being hopeful. So yeah, a lot of explaining that, which is hard too, because we always say like, we always tell her we chose her. So it's like hard for her to like separate, like, you chose me, but you don't get to choose whether we're having a brother or a sister. And I'm like, well, no, like I chose you like my baby, but like I didn't get to choose whether you were a boy or girl. So it's just been a lot, like honestly, just a lot of talking, which I think is where her being older is kind of a thing, you know, like she's been a part of every single stage. The only thing we waited on telling her was that mommy was pregnant. So, and then getting her through, well, I'm not having a sister, so I can't dress her up and I can't play Barbie, and like getting over that. But as soon as I told her like she can pick out his clothes, and like, if it will make you happy to put him in a dress every once in a while, like we'll just put him in a dress every once in a while.
Well, I was just going to say, who knows? Maybe he'll like playing like Barbies with her. You know?
I know so many people with like the little brothers, and they're like, we play dress up.
Yeah, they want to hang out together.
It's such a thing where we live that like boys can't have long hair and boys can't, which I think is so funny because her dad has long hair and all of her uncles have long hair, and she paints her dad's nails, and like, so just kind of separating what she hears outside of the home and being like, also your brother painting his nails means absolutely nothing. So if brother doesn't want, when he's old enough and he doesn't want his nails painted, we're not going to do it.
No.
But like, if you want to help mommy pick out his outfits, and you want, like, he wants to play Barbie with you, and like him being a boy or girl, it does not make a difference. Like, and sometimes like, Azzy, you literally play so rough with your dad all the time. The pillow fights and the wrestling and the like. So just kind of getting her past that like little mental block. It's hard, especially for toddlers, to like differentiate that there's like more than one possibility of like anything.
Well, and it's hard to remember that, you know, when you feel disappointed, that doesn't mean you can't still do those things. Sometimes it feels that way, you know? Yeah.
And she was so happy. She was like, she would go up to people and be like, my mommy said that when my brother gets here, I can put him in a dress. And I'm like, hell yeah, put him in a dress.
Seriously. It'll be cute photos.
Yeah.
Cute story later. So with that, do you think, you know, obviously the gender stuff was a little difficult. And then do you think anything else has been difficult? I know we've mentioned in previous episodes, she herself had mentioned she might get jealous, you know, things like that. But otherwise, have you seen any? Because to me, that's a good acknowledgement. But like, have you actually seen anything that like you feel is difficult? Or do you think maybe this is something we'll have to revisit when we come back after your maternity leave, you know, once he's here and you've had a few months?
Yeah, I think there's been some regressions as far as like being more attached to me. Like she is still very independent, but she was getting very, very independent where like she would go play in a whole other room than me. Now she just wants me there with her. So, but yeah, no, she did bring up that she thinks she's going to get jealous when he's
I thought
here.
that was so cute.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna be jealous, mommy, because he's gonna get attention. And just like kind of again making it like about her and letting her know that like just because yes, things are gonna change, but brother's just gonna be there too. Like he's not taking me away from you. We still get to do the things. And it usually comes up with nighttime with cuddles
Mm-mm-mm.
and stuff. And me telling her like nighttime's not gonna change. Like you're still gonna get your books and you're still gonna get the amount of cuddle time that you get. Like that. And that's something that I've actually had to put a lot of effort in. Like early on to make sure that she's ready for because we used to like fully co-sleep and now we don't. So it's a big transition. But yeah, just like constantly reassuring her. I mean, the other night, she asked me, like I mentioned, like, well, you're not going to love me as much because brother's going to be here. And like, it can be really hard to understand, even before you have another baby, how much your love can just like grow. So just explaining to her, and I think it's really going to show up in how I show her when he gets here and making sure. I think the biggest thing that I'm taking on from like people on like social media and stuff is like it's me and her against the world kind of thing. Like not to like, I'm not going to not give brother attention and I'm not going to like never be like, hold on, like I have to do this for brother or whatever. But at the same time, like brother needs a diaper change. Like let's tackle this together. Or like, oh well, brother's crying. I need to take care of you right now. Like kind of trying to find a good middle ground between the two. So she says things like, I think I'm gonna be jealous. And she says stuff like, I wish I had a wand so I could be a baby again and you can sleep with me, because we have been talking about that's gonna be hard. I think that's gonna be hard for her, is that brother's gonna be sleeping with me and she can't. And she'll say stuff, but then I just kind of remind him like, okay, well, if you were a baby, we couldn't watch TV. Brother's not going to be able to watch TV like you watch TV. Brother's not going to be able to eat ice cream like you eat ice cream. Brother's not going to be able to, like reminding her all the stuff that he doesn't get because she does get. I actually think that's helped a lot because she's like, oh yeah, I can do all this stuff and he can't do it. And then also telling her like, you got all this stuff when you were his age. He's not going to get it when he's your age either. Like this isn't something that's getting taken away because brother is here. This is something that's like changing because you're evolving and you're getting older. You don't sleep with mommy anymore because you literally don't sleep with mommy. Like if mommy's in the room, there's no sleep being had. So like just talking her through that has been a big thing. I will say also, just really quick, there's a baby at her daycare now. And she came up to me like 3 days ago and was like, mommy, because she hasn't been napping at daycare, which thank God. But she's, mommy, I don't get any peace anymore. The baby's just always crying. And when it's nap time, she doesn't stop. And I was like, this is a great example of why brother can't sleep in the room with you. Babies are very annoying. They are. They're really annoying. And that's why I said you used to cry all the time. And I like started mimicking crying, which she was laughing so hard. But I was like, you cried all the time. And this is why mommy is saying that brother has to sleep with her, because you will get no sleep. So that's been helpful.
I absolutely love that. I love the examples, and I'm so glad because I've never thought about it like that. The whole, like, he's not taking something away, you're just evolving. And I think that's such an excellent point, just because it is true. It's like, we're just all evolving, we're all aging, growing, things like that. And so, yeah. And I love the things, that she's getting and then he's not. It's nice. Sometimes we have to remind her, because sometimes not remind ourselves, just because we feel, I think it can be easy to see. It's nice when we can see the glass half full. And I think those are those glass half full moments. Before we kind of get into just additional tips that we kind of found, do you have any that you feel are worth sharing that you've specifically done that you want to share before I kind of jump into just some I found?
I feel like a lot of it is it's hard because when he gets here, it like all just kind of changes. Mm-hmm. I just have tried not to change too much with her. And if I have changed anything with her, it's either for her or for me. It has nothing to do with the baby. I mean, we took maternity pictures the other weekend and her grandma was like, smile for the pictures. This is for Jiraiya. And I literally pulled her to the side. I was like, this is not for Jiraiya. Jiraiya doesn't care about these pictures. This is for mommy. This is for you. We love looking at pictures. This is something that we like to do. So if you don't want to be in the picture, that is fine. But you do have to be respectful of what mommy wants. This has nothing to do with your brother. Like, I think a lot of people just focus on like, oh, this is for, and I'm like, he's literally an alien in my belly. None of this is for him. He couldn't care less. And like, she hasn't even seen maternity pictures with her because she didn't care less because it's just mommy with a big round belly.
Right.
Like,
I was going to say, those are our memories.
yeah.
For
So
sure.
just reminding her, like, and trying to keep stuff as similar as possible. A lot has changed for her, but just, yeah, being there.
That is definitely was going to be one of my just like kind of like additional tips is like, yeah, I love that because I do think it's important just because everything is about to shift. So trying to keep as much as the same as possible can just can help everyone transition. Do you have a podcast and about 4 minutes of free time? Are you editing during nap time, answering emails at midnight, or wondering how your podcast became a second full-time job?
But you don't need to do it all. You need back-end support. That's why we offer podcast editing and post-production for busy moms who have something to say, but no time for audio, show notes, or scheduling. You record, we handle the rest.
Close your eyes and imagine fewer late nights and way less tech stress. If that sounds good, check the link in the description and book a free discovery call. Just a quick chat to see if we're a good fit.
Because podcasting should feel fun, not like another thing on your already really full plate.
Something else, because you had mentioned it multiple times, that I think I read and I think could be helpful is just preparing them to being, bored or like waiting. Because I know like patience is so hard for all of us. And I was reading, I don't know where, but like that sometimes sibling jealousy can be it's not more about the baby. It's just about waiting, because we're constantly saying like, well, I need more 5 minutes with the baby, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
So I like the idea of preparing them and being like, hey, I need a few more minutes, but then I'm going to come back to you, or like things like that. I don't know, like just helping them practice waiting so that it doesn't feel like it's about the baby. It's like, yeah, because I'm like, even without a baby, that can be a good future practice when you're doing anything.
Well, and I was going to say, to add on to that, I think that's a really good point. But I actually realized I think that's something that I've done kind of subconsciously.
100%.
Is when I'm taking care of my body right now, or like I'm doing things like my stretches or like whatever. And she's like, oh, this is taking forever. She's dramatic. She literally will say that. I will say, well, okay, well, here are your options. You can go play. You can wait patiently, or you can come help mommy. Do you want to come do stretches with me? And I think that's something that I can translate to when brother's here.
Yes.
Okay, I'm nursing. Can you come help me pack his bag? Go pick out his outfit. Or she's really excited to help him eat. So when he's at like we can do all that. Like, okay, can you come feed your brother and I will do whatever I need to do, like assuming it like we're leaving or whatever. Or if she's waiting for me to play Barbie, whatever, like, okay, you can play. And I do this a lot right now. It's like, okay, you can keep playing and you can be patient and wait for me. Do you want to wait for me and play by yourself? Or do you want to come and help me? And it's different every day. Sometimes she'll be like, I'm just going to play. And sometimes she'll be like, I'm going to come help you. And whatever it is, we just and I think that's something we can rock with when brother gets.
Yeah, I love that. And I think having them be involved can make a huge difference, because it's like anything, most kids just want to be involved. They just want to be like doing things with us. And I love that. Another thing, or like my, I guess, final tip, and something I haven't figured out exactly because I haven't had to think about it, but another thing I read somewhere was kind of building like an overlap plan just in case, like not like a routine or anything, but just like having an idea if both of your kids need you, kind of like when Hav was mentioning at bedtime, like what can you do to kind of help reduce your panic and reduce your stress? Because I know for me, that is somewhere I am definitely going to feel overwhelmed. And so, yeah, I'm thinking like maybe during like when you're nursing, or during like Hav mentioned the bedtime overlap, or even just like when you're trying to shower, things like that. So that is something else I would consider, is just maybe having like a couple activities or things that you can give to even give to your older kid that can help.
And I think that's a big, like for me, it's like, if you're lucky enough, if you have a partner and whatnot, and just like letting him do it, that doesn't mean it's going to be perfect. I know, because Aaliyah and I, we both nurse and we both like are very responsive to our babies, and that's not saying our partners aren't, but I know for me, it's really hard for me to separate he can do it from like I need to be doing it. So I think mentally preparing for that, like I mentioned, but also like TV time. Like there's like things that like if you need to throw on the tablet for 20 minutes, well, you have to take care of baby, then do it. I think the hardest thing for me, I feel like taking care of Azzy, like getting Azzy to like go separate might not be as hard for me. I think putting baby down when baby's crying and like tuning him out is going to be what's hard for me. But like, that's just my 2 cents on like some overlap time that might help. And then I was just going to add as well, like giving your toddler things to do, but also allowing them to say no is something I'll add on, because that's something that I've talked about with Azzy a lot is like people are like, are you going to change his diapers? Are you going to help mommy? And she's always like, yeah, I'm going to help mommy. But I always add on to like, if mommy asks you to help change the diaper and you don't want to, it's not your job. And I feel like that can be something that builds resentment is like it becoming their job. Like, you want to go get me a diaper? You want to go get me wipes? Perfect. But that's also one of those things where if they're like, no, I'm like, okay, that's fine. Then your option is to go play while I take care of brother.
I think that is a good point. And I know we've mentioned that before, but it is true. It's like we chose to have kids and like, of course, it's nice to have help, but they're also still kids. So allowing them to be kids and be like, no, I don't want to help you. That's okay too. Like, just to kind of wrap up, adjustment can be messy and emotional for anybody, not just kids. So do the best you can to prep and kind of roll with the punches when you have to. Like we said, it will likely change from the beginning when you find out, even to the middle and towards the end as they really start realizing the baby's coming. And then, of course, once they get here. So as we've pointed out, I feel like that's just the life of being a parent is having to just go through different transitions constantly. Have any final thoughts?
I mean, I think that's just like life as an adult, right? There's a lot of things and expectations we have. That's something that I talked to Azzy about is adjusting our expectations. Is just like, you're not going to be able to prevent all the jealousy. You're not going to be able to prevent the messiness. There's going to be things that are hard. And just like that honestly is a really good life experience. So like, try to be as graceful as you can about it. Try to explain things as well as you can, but don't, as much as possible, don't get like down on yourself about not having a perfect transition or not having a perfect response to whatnot. Like, I just think like going with the flow and like remembering like they're gonna be disappointed in life. So like, not that we want to be that disappointment and we're gonna try our best, but like it will be okay at the end of the day.
Yep. We will teach them all the emotions: mad, happy, sad, disappointment, anger, all the things. That's just, yeah, life.
The best thing we can do is help them get through it.
Yeah, 100%. And so with that, that's it for today's episode. Thanks so much for hanging out with us. As always, if this episode has made you feel a little less alone, send it to a mom friend who might need it.
Yeah. And if you haven't already, hit subscribe, leave a review. It helps more moms find us. And helps us know what you might need from the show. So until next week, where we'll be chatting about how to prepare for fears of having a newborn. With that, remember to keep the kids alive and your coffee hot, or at least reheated once.
Bye.
Bye.